And sorry for the delay, we had some technical issues, but now we are back. Remember, you can join the conversation this morning, hashtag GBS Morning Extra on our SMS line 21144. And I'm not alone in the studio, I'm joined by two amazing gentlemen. Thank you so much, Wakili Ken Chesa.
Thank you.
Karibu sana.
Asante.
And also I'm joined by, on my far left, Julius Muigai. Morning.
Morning too.
Are you related to Muigai Kenyatta?
No, but the name comes from the same side. I come from Katondo South.
Okay. So you are somehow linked.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
We have a lot to discuss. A lot has happened over the weekend. And of course, let's first of all focus on what the dailies have given priority this morning before we continue with our discussion. We start the Daily Nation. Daily Nation is talking about former President Daniel Arap Moi. How Uchumi bought army land from the retired President Moi. Former president once again at the center of controversial land deal as it emerges that he is part owner of the farm that sold the Uchumi 20 acres property which the army has repossessed. Remember, there was also another case, another land case that was the court also ruled that the president should pay the owners, the real owners. And of course, the Harambee Stars in a do-or-die match against Senegal this evening. MPs seek justice for victims of right abuses. Raila takes damn war to Ruto's staff. Tolgos hosts ODM leader on the first visit in the Rift Valley region since handshake, sorry. And then there's another tourism story here on page 3. Early wildebeest migration, a boom to Mara lounges. Hotels in the Masai Mara game reserve are reporting full bookings as hundreds of tourists arrive to watch the wildebeest. Okay, gentlemen, let's start with this story on the front page of the Nation. The story of the retired President Daniel Arap Moi. Wakili, what do you make of this retired president who is?
My take is, historically, land administration has been an issue in this country. And the executive has misused and abused its powers and privileges to take land administration to the benefit of those who are close to the administration. It is therefore no surprise that retired President Moi is caught in the midst of this land saga. Okay. It is highly unlikely that the land in question was obtained fraudulently. Okay. And as such, President Moi need to cleanse his image in his old age and in his retirement and do the most necessary thing to surrender the land to the rightful owners. Okay. Looking at the past reports on land administration, the executive has been vilified and rightfully vilified. The Ndungu report up to date has not been released. And this is the report that tells us who stole what, who acquired what illegally. But since it implicates people who served under Moi's administration and people who is who in government, such a report can never be released. And therefore, to me, such headlines and such news relating to Moi is just an overflow of what ought to come out of inquiries related to land irregularities in this country.
Okay. And Muigai, what do you make of this story? And should it be a lesson to other leaders so that they know that one day you'll be out of power and maybe your heels might be follow you back?
Okay, I concur with the Wakili about the land because it's a pertinent issue in this country. Because many people who own land, they don't have the certified title deeds. And those people who own land, they end up either taking land in illegal way from people who are not well fed up. So you end up having people not being followed because of those issues. This one has been a campaign issue. Each and every time we go for elections, you hear that the land issue comes as the first thing. And we as Kenyans, we want to see this issue being solved upon. And those people who think that they are there to stay, they will have to face it roughly because you can see even people who are older at the age of Moi, they are facing it rough.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the standard, Raila Ruto battle goes to Parliament. Once again, Ruto and Raila clash on handouts with the DP's allies vowing to shoot down a bill proposed by ODM chair John Badi to cap amounts. This is in regard to the contributions in churches. ODM sponsored a bill to maybe limit the amount of money politicians should be contributing to churches. Do you think this is the right move?
It is the right move, only that the people who are in the parliament, most of them come from the Jubilee side. So it is difficult for John Bandi's bill to pass because many of them, they support William Ruto either way. So it will end up going down to the floor.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's a good move anyway.
Do you think we should also question the sources of their money?
We should. We should. In fact, there was a time President Kenyatta said that the thing should be taken very, very, very seriously because we need to know where the money comes from each and every time the people go to the church and they donate that amount. And it is not good even to donate the amount which comes from unknown circumstances.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, do you also contribute a lot of money in churches?
I do. We say that that which comes from God should go back to God.
Yeah.
Okay.
However, I do not support the idea of politicians flocking churches as a means of cleansing their money and making their riches look clean and appearing to appease themselves before God. Mbadi's move, in my opinion, is reactionary. We do not require law to treat every problem in this country. It can never be that every time we are unable to address an issue, we are headed to Parliament and we are telling Parliament, let us come up with this law. What, in my opinion, leaders should do is that they should be responsible. They should work according to their conscience. There is law and there is what people do. What the lawyers call law in action and law in books. You can come up with very good laws, but no one will follow them. We have the laws relating to public servants, which require public servants, public officers, not to engage in fundraising. Today, it is the order of the day for the public servants. Therefore, it is the enforcement of the existing laws that is letting us down. It is not because we have no law. So if John Mbadi wants to add to the existing laws,
Okay.
it will be legislated and no one will be following the law. Therefore, it calls for more than just putting up a legislation.
Okay, do you think the law can really help, or we just need to maybe to control ourselves? Because I don't think in a church setup, I don't think it's possible to control what someone wants to contribute.
It is conscience, and a moral society will not come up with a legislation of how people should behave in a house of God.
Okay.
It's more of conscience.
Okay.
And again, I still add that it should be responsible. You cannot go and donate the amount of money which your conscience doesn't support. As in, you are going to donate the amount of money which already you took from. It's fraud money. Okay. So why then go give it to church anyway?
Okay, and that's also a question that everybody's asking. But anyway, and now it seems it was a Kanu ceremony that happened yesterday. Gideon Moi received cinema back to Kanu. Former MP denounces the famous 206 Dama Ravine declaration that made Ruto community spokesman. The former cabinet secretary Musa Sirma has officially joined Kanu and immediately been declared the Eldama Ravine sub-county Kanu branch chairman. Gideon Moi is somebody assembling his arsenals towards the 2022 election. What do you make of this move?
When it comes to matters pertaining politics and Kanu on this case, I don't think that one will be having any effect to the ruling party. Okay. It's good to have your party have many members, but Kanu died long time ago. As for now, everybody knows that there are only two functions, Jubilee and NASA, to say. Okay. So Kanu should either come and merge with Jubilee or go to NASA. But it's good they are taking Musa Sirma to be part of it. It's good to have a number anyway.
But you cannot underestimate Sirma.
I know, but
Sirma crowned William Ruto as the region kingpin.
But he did
so
not.
Do you think he also has the impact he had those days?
I don't think so. Because in Eldama Ravine there are so many upcoming politicians, and he at one time failed to take the seat back.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a contrary opinion. Kanu has never died. Kanu may never die. Remember President Moi's prophecy that Kanu will rule for 100 years. We are just a few years from 100 years, and Kanu is ruling. Tell me anyone in government, in the so-called Jubilee administration or in NASA, who has never been a member of KANU at the top echelons of leadership. Talk of President Kenyatta. He was KANU's presidential candidate, and he is still KANU's politician in a different image called Jubilee. Talk of William Ruto. William Ruto is a brainchild of KANU, and he is still KANU. Talk of Musalia Mudavadi. Talk of Raila Odinga, who decamped to KANU in March 2002 and merged NDP with KANU. And therefore, KANU remains the single most populous entity in terms of political parties in this country. Jubilee is just amalgamation, a marriage of convenience. NASA is just an amalgamation, a movement, a marriage of convenience between their partners. But KANU stands out as a political party. And when we see Gideon Moi receiving the likes of Musa Sirma, who have political experience and much networked, Rift Valley politicians have all reasons to worry, especially William Ruto, because KANU identifies with the Rift Valley. KANU identifies with the conservative voters. It is not for nothing that KANU still has members of parliament in our current dispensation. Many years...
They even have a governor.
They even have a governor. Many years after all of us had thought that KANU had died a natural death. And watch this space, I can tell you for free that KANU will produce the next president, whether in form of KANU itself or through its colors.
Okay. Do you think that this now assembling of weapons, Gideon Moi, do you see any chance that it might break the Rift Valley voting bloc?
I don't think so. Because even the senator who is not, even Gideon Moi himself, during the 2017 election, he defeated the Jubilee politician by a narrow gap. And again, you see the only governor who won on a KANU ticket was John Nyangapua. And it's because West Pokot, all those people aligned themselves to the KANU party. But when you come to Baringo, where the KANU was born and bled, you see that many politicians, those people who are vying for KANU, were defeated apart from the senator and the women rep, and so to say maybe 2 MPs. Again, I swear I concur with the Wakil that the KANU can rule, and again with some of its colors, yes, because William Ruto is there. He was born in KANU. Same case applies to Kenyatta, but nobody can try to go back to KANU, whereby the chairperson is Gideon Moi. I don't think so. I don't think Gideon Moi can win. And I don't think people from Jubilee can go to...
What if he makes the right moves and maybe joins hands with maybe the likes of Raila Odinga or the likes of Uhuru Kenyatta?
Then he becomes irrelevant. If he joins hands with, not with Kenyatta for now, if he joins hands with Raila Odinga, then they can have a strong, huge crowd behind them. Or else, join William Ruto.
William Ruto's fortunes are dwindling in the Rift Valley, and I don't think any right-minded politician should be in a hurry to join one William Ruto. William Ruto is facing opposition even in his own backyard. William Ruto is not popular in the Rift Valley as people want us to believe. It's only that he is the father figure, or so to speak, at the moment in Rift Valley. Go to Uasin-Gishu, for example, his own birthplace, where William Ruto wanted to plant one Zedekiah Bundotich Buzeki as governor. It backfired on him. Go to Alfred Keter's constituency, where William Ruto wanted him out. It backfired on him. Go to Oscar Sudi, where William Ruto wanted him out. It backfired on him. And therefore, the only tact that William Ruto has is that when people tend to reject his choice of candidate, he gives up. He is not like Raila Odinga or perhaps Gideon Moi, who will insist that if I'm saying Muigai is the candidate for this position, it is either Muigai or no one else. And then voters at the ballot punish him. William Ruto has been facing resistance. Look at Bomet. Isaac Ruto gave William Ruto a run of his money, even though Joyce Laboso won, but it was not a walk in the park. Even Baringo County, where William Ruto wanted Chelgui to be senator, the state machinery was on the ground. They spent a lot of money just with the single motive of ousting the Moi family out of politics. It backfired. And therefore, the Moi family is still a force in Rift Valley politics and in Kenyan politics. It is not for nothing that everyone has been going to Kabarnet for a handshake with Mzee. Everybody other than William Ruto, who has been refused audience.
Okay, now
But
from that point, do you think Rift politics has been rivalry between Ruto and Moi's family, and they have not been they have not been reading the same script for a couple of years now. Do you think now this rivalry now could maybe shake the DP's presidency maybe aspirations?
Oh, to an extent, I say that it has been between the two families. But we need to give a nod to William Ruto because he is a young politician. You cannot compare Ruto with Moi. Moi started at, he started very long time ago. So Ruto has been trying to muscle up and gain the popularity in Rift Valley. And you can see the only county where Ruto did not have a huge majority was Turkana. And you can see even now, even the people in ODM, they have ousted Josephat Anok to become the deputy vice chair. Only to mention another guy from Loima MP. And now you see after that, Turkana governor joined hands with Ruto. It's not yet official, but you can see that Josephat Anok, which is only the county which not support Ruto to a man, will come and support Ruto, and it's in Rift Valley. Again, as well, I want to say that when you say about Zindakaya Budotich, who was Ruto's man, and he failed. But all those people who won under Jubilee ticket, even the governor now supports Ruto, because
Which governor?
Jackson Mandago.
Mandago does not support William Ruto, unless you've not been reading political language of Jackson Mandago.
Because there was a time he was saying this thing to do with the letter. He said something to do with the letter should be investigated.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Ideally, Mandago has been in the Jubilee Party. But from his utterances, recent utterances, it seems like, I remember there was time he was saying 2022 is too far and you should give up in politics.
Yeah.
You should give up politics now. So I don't think they are reading on the same script because first, Deputy President was supporting his opponent, that is Bunotich, for governorship. So I think the rift started there, but they are still in the Jubilee, of which the Jubilee Party has been facing a lot as we speak right now. So we don't even know whether the Jubilee Party is united or divided. We are not even sure about that.
I also ask myself, why do we always say that Ruto is campaigning, and yet everybody, whenever he goes, even Raila is campaigning in a different version?
But Raila is not in government.
You know, Raila is not a public officer or a civil servant, so to speak. Why we expect William Ruto to serve Kenyans and not to campaign is that Kenyans gave him a 5-year term together with President Kenyatta to serve and deliver on their manifesto. Your manifesto can never be to attend churches throughout. Every Kenyan can attend churches. Your manifesto cannot be to relaunch projects time and again. Kenyans want to see results. And therefore, in my opinion, Raila Odinga has not been seen to campaign. Raila Odinga has not said outrightly that he will be on the ballot in 2022. But William Ruto keeps on reminding Kenyans through proxies or by self that he must be on the ballot and he must win and he must get Kenyatta's backing and Kenyans' backing in 2022. My good friend here said something that I wish to contradict immediately, that Nanok has moved to Jubilee with Turkana. If William Ruto and Uhuru Kenyatta lost Turkana County with all their troops in 2017, who makes us believe that then Turkana County can shift? Nanok has nothing to lose politically. He has served his 2 terms. He is not in politics. And therefore, for self-gain, he can join anyone.
Okay. Okay, we took a short breather, but I don't want to come and talk about the newspapers again. Let's look at what the Star has before we take a break. Uhuru Ruto taking Kenya to the wrong path. Majority of Kenyans say budget unveiled by Rotich doesn't adequately address their concerns. And of course, there's also state to prioritize coast land issues. The government will pay special attention to coast region in land matters. Land CS Farida Karone has said that. And in the back page is all about Harambee Stars and maybe doubts of the defender Josh Onyango might return to tonight's match. And that's all what we have in the newspaper review. We are going to a short breather, and when we come back, we'll talk about the weekend politics. It has already started, but we'll continue and also focus on more other issues, especially the ODM moves to revive itself and maybe to make the party relevant again to the people. You can join the conversation, #GBS Morning Extra, or our SMS line 21144. Don't go too far.